Cleric Beast. Cleric Beast isn't just Bloodborne's first boss. It's a high-ranking member of the Healing Church who succumbed to the very scourge they swore to fight. The Sword Hunter badge confirms these beasts were once church elite, hunters who administered blood ministration to the faithful. The church's own lore states that those who minister the old blood transform into the most hideous beasts. The cleric beast embodies this cruel irony. Antlers sprouting from its skull mirror the church's ascension imagery, twisted into something bestial and wrong. These hunters administered blood to thousands, believing their devotion and purity protected them. It didn't. Its placement on the Great Bridge connects Cathedral Ward to central Yharnam, the threshold between the church's sanctified district and the common citizens they abandoned. The beast guards this passage, a living monument to institutional failure. Its attacks are frenzied, desperate, still clinging to muscle memory of hunting beasts rather than being one. The first boss teaches you Bloodborne's fundamental truth. The church's hierarchy means nothing to the Scourge. Faith doesn't protect you from biology. The old blood transforms everyone equally, from street beggar to vicar. The cleric beast transformed through slow corruption. What happens when a hunter transforms while fully conscious of what they're becoming? Father Gascoigne. Father Gascoigne is a foreign hunter who knows he's transforming and fights you to either die human or prove the beast can be controlled. Both options are doomed. His title, Father, marks him as an outsider. The Healing Church doesn't use that rank. He came to Yharnam wearing Outlander garb, eventually adopting the Black Church set. The music box his daughter carries temporarily breaks his frenzy, evidence he made contingency plans, hoping his family could stop him when the transformation came. His graveyard arena is surrounded by fresh corpses. His victims, including his wife Viola. Gascoigne has already lost control before you arrive. Unlike the cleric beast's emaciated frame, his transformation is compact, muscular, hyper-aggressive. This is what happens when someone fights the beast with pure willpower. It becomes condensed rage, tactical rather than mindless. He still uses hunter tactics because his consciousness wrestles with beast instinct in real time. His dying moments show a man who retained enough awareness to know exactly what he'd become and what he'd done to his family. Gascoigne transformed in the streets. The church's leadership transformed on altars, surrounded by congregation. Vicar Amelia. Vicar Amelia is the Healing Church's current leader, who transforms mid-prayer. Her beast form is the church's corruption, made flesh before your eyes in their most sacred space. She kneels at the altar clutching the gold pendant, reciting the church's ritual mantra as her body tears itself apart. The prayer itself contains the contradiction. Seek the old blood, fear the old blood. She speaks these words while transforming because of that same blood. The pendant bears Lawrence's warning, and she holds it while embodying its failure completely. Her transformation is massive, elegant, crowned with antlers like a perverse Madonna figure. The church worshipped ascension imagery, becoming something holy through blood communion. Amelia's beast form is that aspiration made horrifying. She's what the church actually created when they promised elevation. A bestial parody of divinity. The grand cathedral location matters enormously. This is the church's heart, their most sacred space where generations received blood ministration. Her regeneration mechanic represents the church's refusal to acknowledge failure. In beast form, she clutches her hands to her chest, mimicking her prayer posture. The pendant lies broken and discarded, but her body remembers the ritual even when her mind is gone. Church leadership transformed slowly over time. What happens when an entire district is abandoned to burn with the scourge still inside them? Blood-starved. Blood-starved beast is old Yharnam's lingering curse, a victim of ashen blood, the devastating disease that ravaged the district before the Healing Church burned everything to contain the scourge. Look closely at the beast. What appears to be exposed muscle is actually its own skin, peeled back and draped over its head like a grotesque hood. The poison it secretes isn't from fire or chemicals, it's ashen blood itself, the sickness that spread through old Yharnam before the transformation even began. The church's solution was to burn everything and everyone. The beast is what survived that purge. Jura, the retired hunter protecting old Yharnam's beasts, knows the truth. His dialogue reveals these creatures are still people. The beast's frenzied attacks aren't mindless. Their desperation and trauma. It remembers being abandoned by the church. It remembers the fires consuming everything. Its three-phase escalation mirrors the Yharnam citizens' experience. First symptoms, growing panic, final realization that the church wasn't coming to save them. Blood-starved beast proves the church's containment strategy was always quarantine and extermination. Burning old Yharnam didn't stop the church's pursuit of ascension. They needed to understand the cosmos. That required finding someone who actually succeeded. Rom, the vacuous spider. Rom was once a human woman, Miyazaki confirmed this in interviews, who underwent a ritual at Byrgenwerth to ascend beyond humanity. She succeeded in transformation, but her vacuous nature suggests something essential was lost in the process. Master Willem still sits on the balcony overlooking Moonside Lake, where Rom resides underwater. He points toward her, his student, perhaps his greatest success or failure depending on perspective. Rom maintains the bulwark, the cosmic veil hiding the Mensis ritual and Mergo's existence from the waking world. She is the barrier between humanity and terrible truth. The fight itself is Rom protecting that secret with everything she has. She doesn't attack directly. Her children do while she teleports away, creating distance. Killing Rom shatters the veil entirely. Immediately after the blood moon descends, amygdalas become visible everywhere, and Yharnam's true state is revealed. A city infested with great ones you couldn't perceive. Rom's tragedy is being aware enough to maintain the ritual, but too vacuous to communicate what she knows. She guards the secret in eternal silence. Rom hid the truth deliberately, but the amygdalas have been watching since the beginning, invisible until you gained enough insight to perceive them. Amygdala isn't a single entity. It's a species of great ones existing in higher dimensions, clinging to Yharnam's architecture since the Healing Church first made contact with the cosmos through their blood rituals. The name refers to the brain's fear center, intentional. These lesser amygdala are anchored throughout Yharnam, Cathedral Ward's exterior, overlooking the Grand Cathedral, suspended above Yahargul, watching the School of Mensis. They've always been there. Low insight prevents seeing them, but they see you clearly. Their physical form is wrong. 6 eyes, arms reaching in directions violating spatial logic, legs attaching to buildings at impossible angles. This isn't their true appearance. It's the closest 3-dimensional approximation your brain can construct. They exist in higher dimensions. What you see is merely a cross-section of something far larger. The nightmare frontier. Amygdala is the only one you fight. Significant that this happens in a nightmare realm, rather than physical Yharnam. After Rom dies, they become visible and hostile throughout the city. They seem to function as guardians or parasites on the physical world, watching everything the church built in their pursuit of the cosmos. Amygdala observes from above, but the choir found a great one they could bring to the surface, one who chose to stay. Ebrietas, daughter of the cosmos. Ebrietas is the left-behind Great One, her Japanese title. When the other Great Ones departed for higher planes, she remained behind. The choir found her deep in the Is Chalice dungeons, and she made contact with them willingly. She isn't hostile initially. When you enter the altar of despair, she's mourning over a dead choir member's corpse, gently cradling the body with tenderness. She only attacks when you approach and threaten her. Ebrietas is lonely, a great one abandoned by her kind, possibly too young or too different to follow them into higher dimensions. The choir promised communion and understanding, and Ebrietas seems to have participated willingly in their rituals. But the results were horrific for the humans involved. Scholars who communed with her transformed, not into great ones as they hoped, but into celestial emissaries, blue-skinned failed kin, worshipping her throughout Upper Cathedral Ward. Human bodies couldn't withstand her cosmic biology. Ebrietas proves the great ones aren't malevolent conquerors. They're as vulnerable to loneliness as humans are. She stayed because she had nowhere else to go and no one else who wanted her. Ebrietas was found abandoned. Mergo was deliberately created through ritual, and something formless still protects the stillborn god. Mergo's wet nurse. Mergo's wet nurse is a formless entity protecting Mergo, the invisible stillborn child of Queen Yharnam, born from ancient Pthumerian rituals designed to create a great one from human royalty through forbidden means. The wet nurse might not be a creature at all. It's a role made manifest, a concept given form. No face, no body beneath the black shroud, just 6 arms wielding blades in constant motion. It exists in the nightmare of Mensis as Mergo's eternal protector, circling the infant's cradle while Mergo cries endlessly into the void. Mergo is Queen Yharnam's child, the last Pthumerian monarch who underwent ritual to birth a great one through human pregnancy. The ritual succeeded in creating Mergo but failed to produce a viable physical body. Mergo exists as formless consciousness, a stillborn god, perceivable only through sound and the lullaby of crying. The wet nurse's attacks are methodical. It defends, never rages mindlessly. When it cloaks the arena in fog, it's concealing Mergo from your perception. Udin, the formless great one associated with blood and unwanted pregnancies, is likely Mergo's father. The wet nurse's origins remain mysterious, possibly a manifestation of Udin's protective will. Mergo exists in nightmare, but one great one was born physically, torn from its mother's desecrated corpse. Orphan of Kos. Orphan of Kos is the nightmare manifestation of cosmic tragedy, birthed from Kos's corpse after Byrgenwerth scholars violated the fishing hamlet, creating a curse that traps hunters in nightmare eternally. Kos was a great one who washed ashore at a remote fishing village. The villagers worshipped her corpse, believing her presence blessed them. Then Bergenwerth arrived seeking cosmic truth. The scholars, Gehrman confirmed among them, desecrated Kos's body searching for eyes and insight. The real orphan likely died in the waking world. What you fight is the Great One's consciousness trapped in nightmare, unable to move on or find peace. It tears itself from its mother's rotting corpse, umbilical cord still attached, placenta dragging behind as a weapon. Its screams aren't beast roars, they're infant wails amplified to cosmic volume. Every attack is fury and grief combined into something terrible. The cursed Kos placed traps every hunter who participated in the hamlet's violation in the hunter's nightmare, reliving violence eternally. The orphan's second phase reveals wings. It was meant to be something beautiful that could soar, now anchored to stillbirth and trauma forever. The orphan was born into nightmare, but one Great One controls the dream itself and hunts its own kind through proxies. Moon Presence. Moon Presence, called Flora in the game files, is the true master of the hunter's dream. It binds Gehrman and every hunter who takes the contract, using them to hunt other Great Ones. It only appears after consuming 3 umbilical cords and refusing Gehrman's offer. This isn't random. You've gained enough insight to perceive its manipulation. Moon Presence's primary motivation appears to be a cosmic feud. It uses hunters to kill Great Ones like Mergo, operating through proxies rather than direct confrontation. It's spindly, skeletal, head split open, revealing cosmic interior. Gehrman's dialogue, "You will live through this night and see the sunrise," is him begging you to accept mercy killing rather than becoming Moon Presence's next prisoner. He's been trapped for an eternity, Moon. Presence's ability drains you to 1 HP, making you vulnerable, dependent. The childhood's beginning-ending transforms you into an infant Great One under its care. Some interpret this as Moon Presence seeking surrogate children. Others see it as creating a new weapon in its war against other Great Ones. The hunter's dream was never about saving Yharnam. It was a hunting ground for cosmic prey.